it's a rather sad night because of what the tragic accident that happened in Ghana, Accra, Ghana over the weekend. But before I get to that, I'd like to introduce two gentlemen with me in the studio. One of them is someone you know quite well. He's always here every Monday. I'm talking about none other than the deputy editor of Sporting Life newspapers, Onyewuchi Nwachukwu, comes through tonight. Onyewuchi is always here. You can find him twice a week, basically, and he's here tonight as well. Another gentleman who joins us is a man a lot of people in boxing circles know very well. I'm talking about none other than, Mr. Aboderin. Aboderin is, of course, is the Secretary General of the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, and he's also the president of the West African Boxing Union. Remi Aboderin joins us tonight. Gentlemen, thank you for coming through tonight. I would have loved we have met in happier circumstances. It's really tragic what happened over the weekend, and in case you don't understand what happened, we're talking about the loss of a Nigerian light heavyweight, former West African light heavyweight boxing champion, Olanrewaju Gabriel, also known as Success. Well, the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, that's the NBBofC, led by President Dr. Rafiu Ladipo, today, Monday 31st of April, paid a condolence visit to the mother of the late boxer, Segun Success Olanrewaju, who tragically died in the ring in Ghana on Saturday, March 29th. The visit took place at her residence in Ogun State, Nigeria. 40-year-old Olanrewaju collapsed in the ring during the third round of his light heavyweight clash against Ghana's John Mbanugu in Accra without receiving a punch. After receiving first aid in the ring at the Bokom Boxing Arena, he was rushed to the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital where he was pronounced dead 30 minutes after arrival. Viewer discretion is advised because the scenes you're seeing are actually quite tragic. But we hear that an autopsy will be performed in Accra, Ghana on Wednesday following the arrival of Segun Success's family in Accra. Well, the NBBofC have stated that Olanrewaju did not receive clearance for Saturday night's fight. Before his bout with Mbanugu, Olanrewaju had an official record of 23 fights, 13 victories, and 8 defeats. And the whole boxing fraternity in Nigeria is mourning the loss of this former national and West African light heavyweight champion. It is on that note I'd like to welcome Remi Aboderin to the show tonight. Remi, thank you so much for coming through. Like I said, I wish we had met in happier circumstances. But for those who don't understand exactly what transpired, there's been so much talk about how Segun Olanrewaju wasn't physically fit. He wasn't sanctioned for that fight. He didn't receive a medical exemption. We've been hearing so many things flying about. What exactly is the state? Is the true state of affairs for that fight? Was Segun Olanrewaju, did he have clearance for that fight?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, viewers. It's a very tragic event and a very tragic evening. I am mourning, the NBBofC is mourning, and we are really, really deeply pained by what happened. Yes, Segun was, and it pains me to refer to him in the past tense right now. He was our licensed boxer, and he got our clearance to fight in Ghana on the 28th of March 2025, which happens to be a Friday, not a clearance to fight on Saturday, 29th.
Okay. That's
the truth and the true state of what happened concerning that fight. Yes, Segun got our clearance, 28th, not 29th. So the GBA erred by allowing him to fight on the 29th, which wasn't what we stated on the release letter. Segun got to Ghana Thursday morning, did his weigh-in Thursday morning. He came late, as I was told by other Nigerian that was there, because 2 Nigerians were actually sanctioned to fight or given release letters to fight on the bail of the 28th. So Segun came late with his coach, Jiron Alamo, to the weigh-in ceremony. We are made to understand he even overweighed. That means instead of making 79.80, he might have made 81.82. I wasn't there, but basically that is the report I got. And the rule of this game is that you are supposed to make your weight as stated in the contract paper, which I have right here. So Segun did not make the weight. But the GBA also
the Ghana Boxing Association.
Yes, Ghana Boxing Association, because GBA for short, did not do their due diligence by upholding the laws, the rules of professional boxing.
Okay, what didn't they do?
They are supposed to conduct a medical test on the day of weighing. That medical was not conducted. I can say that to you authoritatively. Also, the weighing, he overweighed. What they should have done was to ask him to at least go shed the weight. Maybe in the process of shedding the weight, it will be shown that he is not medically fit. But they did not even do that. Now the fight was supposed to happen on Friday. When Segun got to the venue on Friday, he was told that he would have to lose to his Ghanaian opponent. And Segun said, no, we never had this agreement before I left Nigeria.
Wait. The Ghanaian, the promoter or the team of his opponent, Johnny Banugu, approached Segun and asked him to throw the fight.
Definitely. It might not be the promoter, but definitely it can be the matchmaker. Because in boxing, we have several people that will get across to you to come and fight. The promoter, the matchmaker, but basically the team of his opponent got across to him, and they were discussing with him concerning the fact that he must lose that fight on Friday night. Mark me, Friday night, which was the day that we approved for him to fight. Segun now said, no, my agreement was, I'm coming here to fight, I'm ready to fight, I'm not going to throw any fight. Okay, you need to throw this fight because we are ready to compensate you for throwing the fight. Okay, what are you going to compensate me with? Maybe 300 USD. Sorry, I want 1,000 USD. It's just the kind of compensation that will have gone. No, we can only do 500 USD. It's too meager. I will not take this fight except you do me the 1,000 USD. Those were the discussions that night. And since they now refused to meet with his demand, he said he was not going to fight. He waited at the venue. He did not fight or change to fight. And he was taken from the venue to the hotel and asked to leave Ghana the following morning because his transportation has already been paid. The young man and his coach were on their way out of Accra, getting close to the border of Aflao.
That's the border between Ghana and Togo.
Yes, getting close to the border of Aflao. I don't know who made the call, but the man that the coach that followed Segun had a Ghana SIM, and there was communication where Segun was told that now we are ready to meet your demand or your post increase. Please come back. Or maybe Segun and the coach said, we don't have money. We left Nigeria with Bese. When I say Bese, owing 1 or 2, 3 people money because we needed to come back to Ghana and then make our money back. So please, let's go back. If these people are ready to have us fight, we are now ready to take that amount that is being offered for us to lose. So that was exactly what happened. When Segun now got back, there was no medical conducted again. There was no weighing. So the stress alone, it's not something that the sport approves. We approved for him to fight on Friday. He got back on Saturday, and he was made to fight Saturday evening without our approval. And again, medicals and all the necessary tests were not done.
Wow.
So that's basically what happened. That is why we believe the GBA has erred in upholding the tenets of professional boxing rules. And that is where they are culpable.
So in Segun's contract, did it state very clearly that the medical was supposed to be held? Did it state very clearly? Was there like an indemnity clause in that contract that stated, look, in the event of serious injury or death, that the promoter or the GBA would not be held liable? Was there any clause in that contract that said so?
This is the contract. It was for a boxer to give us his contract that he has agreed to go fight, and for us to give you a release letter. Okay, and
so every boxer who's supposed to fight outside Nigeria also gives you a copy of their contract with whoever they're fighting, right?
Every professional boxer.
Yes.
Yes.
They file one with a copy with the
They must submit their contract before we give them release letter.
Okay.
And the release letter now gives you the commission, the local commission there in the opposite country the right to approve for the boxer to fight. After all rules and regulations are met. But this was not the case in the GBA doing. By allowing the boxer that was not approved to fight on Saturday, medicals were not done. That is totally against the rules of this sport.
Okay. Onyewuchi, you have a question for?
Yeah, Remi, it's good that you're on air trying to give very clear perspective on this issue, because the problem we've had in the past is that we gloss over issues when this kind of very tragic incident happens. I've heard this story some couple of hours ago, what exactly you are saying. But you see, I don't understand. You see, apart from what you have said, let's assume that everything happened. On the day of the fight, are there no provisions for medical facilities?
Well,
when the Nasarawa United player, the same team played out, the ambulance refused to start. Some untrained people came with some pressing the chest of the players.
So you are questioning the quality of medical attention that you received.
Let's even assume that everything you said
there was no defibrillator, there was no
oxygen to aid the boxer to restart the heart. We also, when Fabrice Mwamba collapsed on the pitch, they were able to restart. The doctor said technically he was dead
for 7 minutes
for some few seconds, and they had to restart the heart. There was the defibrillator, the oxygen was,
so you are questioning the quality of medical attention.
I saw one man bringing out something from his pocket. I don't know if it's a biro, I don't know if it's a spoon, trying to insert it into his mouth. Can't we do better?
Well, the fact is, I can say to you, at the night of the fight on Saturday, all what I saw was the complete medical team. There was the stretcher, the medical doctor, I believe, rushed into the ring. And there was the oxygen mask that was put in his nose. That was done on the night of the fight. But what needed to have been done before the fight took place was not done.
So basically, that's medicine after death.
Yes. So again, I'm saying we did not approve for him to fight on Saturday, 29th. His fight was approved according to the rules of the sport for Friday, 28th. You are supposed to fight a day, 24 hours after weighing and medicals must have been done. Now, they did not do medicals on the day of weighing. The boxer overweighed. The normal thing should be for the GBA, now, not the promoter, because the promoter is not in charge of weighing. It's the Ghana Boxing Authority that is in charge. So the proper thing for them to have done was to ask the boxer, go shed your weight. Let's see that you are fit for the weight you signed to fight over.
That in that process, maybe they might have...
In that respect, it will have been seen now. This guy cannot breathe well. He's losing some breath and all this.
So the question, Remi, for me is, where was Segun's manager? Where were his backroom staff, his team, who could have advised him and said that, look, this was not what we signed up for. I mean, they're actually asking you to lose. This was not what we agreed upon. They basically give you, mere hours to fight after being on the road. Where was the team that could have advised him and told him that, look, Segun, you cannot take this fight?
Unfortunately, things happened that has affected boxing rules and regulations. Formerly, when the boxer is going out to fight, he goes with at least 2 people, his manager and his trainer or coach. But come COVID, everything changed. The promoter will tell you, the country is not ready to take about so many people. So the next thing is you are only allowed to come with your coach or your manager. So that is basically what happened. And as long as you have somebody that comes with you, then it is assumed, you are well fortified for the fight. In this case, he went with another boxer who is equally good enough to be in his corner as a trainer. So that is the issue at stake.
Okay.
And when they were on their way back to Nigeria, there was a discussion between Segun, the trainer, and the matchmaker or promoter for him to come back on Saturday morning. The stress, like I said to you, is much.
They were traveling by road.
By road, definitely. when the normal thing is at least you must give the boxer to be in the country a
24
day
hours, yeah.
before the weigh-in. That was not also not adhered to. So that's the issue. Boxing is not for the faint-hearted, no doubt. Understand? It is a sport, but it's a sport that is not for the faint-hearted. There are several rules and regulations, and in this case, these are boxers, we refer to them as ring soldiers. A soldier goes to war believing A or B would happen. The A would, I would not want to die in the ring or to die at the war front, but I would definitely want, like at least, be back at home. If the other would happen, I prefer that, okay, at least I will still be about, I mean, that's for the boxer around for the boxer to at least get the money that I signed for.
Okay, so finally, Remi, before we let you go, how can we prevent such things from happening in the future? I mean, just this month alone, we've lost three big names in Nigerian boxing. The biggest of them, of course, is Segun Success Olanrewaju, former light heavyweight champion, former West African light heavyweight champion as well. How do we prevent other boxers from succumbing to this tragic circumstance?
To be candid with you, like I said, boxing is a sport, and it's not for the faint-hearted. Whatever would happen, will happen. Sera. But even at that, we must follow the rules and regulations. The fact is, when death is going to come, it's going to come. I will not take that away from the issue on ground. But where the rules and regulations are not met, is where is now the issue at stake. So for us to prevent such happening is to make sure that the rules of the sport is adhered to. GBA, that's Ghana Boxing Authority, head in this respect, and that's why we are holding them culpable for the
death of Segun Success Olanrewaju. But what about those who also argue that people like Nigerian Boxing for the Control should probably put an age cap for boxers, because there are those who are arguing that Segun Olanrewaju was 40, he shouldn't be fighting at 40, that he was too old. How would you respond to that?
The fact is, you feel as old or as young as you feel. The day that this guy came to collect his release letter, he just left training at the stadium. I do not have the right to say to a boxer not to fight if he's fit. And I can say to you, just 3 months ago, Segun went 8 rounds of solid fight action with Rashid Idowu. But it's unfortunate that boxing or boxers only get glory after they might have died doing action. The glory should come before they die. There's Rashid Idowu. He went to Ghana. He defeated the Ghanaian, beat him blue black. Yeah. The whole world was not agog with all this story. But when it comes to death, the whole world will be agog. It's a sad story, no doubt. We at the NBBofC, we are not happy. But when death is going to come, it's going to come. May the soul of our departed hero rest in perfect peace.
I totally agree. I don't know what to say, because I actually knew Segun Success Olanrewaju as well. I thought he was a phenomenal fighter. And I don't agree he was too old. I mean, George Foreman won the world heavyweight title at the age of 45. Mike Tyson also was still fighting last year in his 50s. So age was not an issue. It was just, I guess, his ticket had been punched. May his soul rest in peace.